Ah. Uh, hey, yeah, it said policy violations, so like we can't do that. Oh man, that was yeah. They cut it off because we were copyright material. Yeah. I don't know if we got copyright slapped. Maybe. I do think it was like it was like essentially a DMCA. Good God. Man, Shadow says hello, hello. That was a good idea. It just, didn't work out. You know, sometimes YouTube pisses me off. Remember when YouTube was like YouTube? Now it's like UsTube. I don't like it as much. I don't like it as much. I'm tired. I'm tired of any platform that essentially becomes pay to win. But I mean, isn't that kind of all of them at this point? The idea that everyone would get something, everyone would be glad to have a piece, man, that went out the fucking window. Yeah, YouTube used to be relatively chill, but man, I don't know, dude. I don't know. Yeah, YouTube, more like we suck. Uh, oh, not just walking on eggshells. It's like, what's fun to do? When was the last time I laughed at a YouTube video? I remember Blip. Blip was okay. Sometimes I think about doing videos again, and sometimes I think about just getting a day job. Isn't that sad? Yeah, I remember the. I don't well, like I remember the abridged. Remember the anime abridged series? Like, weren't those fun? And I'm like, what's the new version of that? I don't even know. USA fails. I don't know, man. Like, huh. You know what? I bet let's go. Let's do some of these again. Like, I bet they're not. They're not. This guy's not gonna copy strike me.
To the Applebee's, their wonton tacos are pretty good. Needless to say, we didn't talk much after. Uber career was pretty short-lived. And by short-lived, I mean I drove a whopping 3 customers before I quit. But if you're out there wondering what it's like to be an Uber driver, well, let me tell you about my experience. Now, it's important to note that this was years ago, back when I was in the middle of what I like to call my quarter-life crisis. And that was when I was working a dead-end job at a car dealership.
I don't know. I don't think I'm going to get a copyright strike for this.
Oh, and not to mention I had the IRS on my ass for back taxes, so that was fun. So running out of options, as well as running out of shit to sell out of my house, I registered to become an Uber driver. Now, this was when ride-sharing was still relatively new. To be honest, I didn't know much about it. Hell, the first time I saw Lyft drivers with mustaches on the front of their cars, I was like, what the hell? We're putting fucking facial hair on Buicks now? God damn, I remember wood paneling on station wagons back in the day, but this shit's ridiculous. Now, needless to say, I was pretty hesitant to become a driver in the first place. I mean, is this Uber thing even legitimate? Am I gonna pick some random stranger up on the side of the road and then be robbed at knife point for the 47 cents in my center console? Stabbed in the pelvis with a shank. 1 out of 5 stars. Well, considering I was broke as hell, I didn't have much of a choice. Let's roll the dice, Uber. Let's see what you can do for me. Now, like I said, my Uber career was really short. 3 customers is all it took for me to quit. My first customer, or passenger, or fucking ride-along buddy, whatever you want to call him, was a businessman that was out of state. So I pull into the parking lot of the hotel that this guy's staying at, and I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. Does the guy sit in the back seat, or does he sit in the front seat? Do you let him fuck with the radio if you want? Do you high-five him when he gets out of the car? What the fuck is this gonna be like? This is so weird. So this guy starts walking out, and he looks normal enough, I'd say. So I try to be polite and lean over and open the passenger door for him. All of a sudden, this guy looks at me like I'm some kind of fucking pervert, like I'm trying to have my way with him in the front seat and shit. Oh, alright, well that answers answers the first question. Everybody sits in the back seat. Unless you're a pervert, you're up front. So we start cruising along in silence, and the silence is pretty palpable at this point because, well, there's a grown man in my car that thinks I just actively tried to seduce him in the front seat. So I figure, how about a little bit of small talk to ease the tensions in the car? So are you from out of town? Yeah, that's why I'm staying in a fucking hotel after all. Oh, okay, well, I'll go fuck myself. How about that? Okay, and we're 0 for 2. But believe it or not, the guy didn't write me off completely. Hey, so what's a good place to eat around here? A good place to eat? Dude, I don't know. I eat fucking Del Taco 5 times out of the week. The hell am I, a fucking tour guide for the shitty city I live in? You ever been to the Applebee's? Their wonton tacos are pretty good. Needless to say, we didn't talk much after that. That's what happens when you offer up Applebee's as a viable place to eat. Guys in the back seat probably questioning my mental capacity. Fucking Applebee's, is this guy serious? Hey, why don't you just keep your attention on the road and try not to hurt yourself? Finally, we pull up to this guy's destination. He gets out of the car. We do not high-five whatsoever. But he does give me a $5 tip. Now, granted, I think he just felt bad because he thought I had some kind of condition of some sort. Do you have some kind of donation jar in there like they have at gas stations, or do I just give the money to you? But I don't care. $5 tip plus $15 for the ride, that's 20 bucks I made. I mean, that's 20 bucks the IRS made, but at least I got to touch it for a little while. Now, my second rider happened shortly after my first, and to be honest, nothing really happened. We just sat there and talked about how shitty of a show Full House was back in the day. Yeah, fucking Full House sucked ass, didn't it? And Dave Coulier was fucking weird. Yeah, I concur. And fuck the Olsen twins while we're at it. Again, there was no high five, but I did make 12 bucks, and I got a $2 tip on top of it. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, well, what the hell? You're driving around, making money, talking shit about Full House? Being an Uber driver sounds great. Well, sit your ass down, you haven't even heard about my third customer. Now, at this point, it's like midnight, and I'm tired as hell, but I'm still active on Uber because, well, last time I checked, I'm still broke as hell. So I'm half awake, and I get a goddamn notification on my phone of a new rider, and of course, it's on the shittiest side of town that nobody wants to go to. I gotta sit there and have a conversation with myself. Do I really want to get up right now? Do I really want to go to the fucking hood? You bet your silly ass you do. Now get in your Ford Taurus and go make daddy some money. So I get in my car and off I go to the fucking armpit of the city, and I pull up to this guy who's standing on the sidewalk with a book bag, and needless to say, he looks like he's a few french fries from a fucking Happy Meal. Oh boy, well this doesn't look too promising, now does it? So this guy gets in the car, and I have to say that this guy reeks. Now I don't know what methamphetamine smells like. It wasn't exactly a scratch and sniff sticker when I was a kid, but if I had to guess, it would be this guy 100%. But at this point, I'm like, whatever. Methamphetamine, schmethamphetamine. Let's just drive this guy wherever he wants to go. Let's not think about whatever this guy's all hopped up on, or how many barbiturates are in his book bag. Let's just take this guy wherever he needs to go. So again, I try to have some casual conversation to break up any tension. Hey, you see over there by that liquor store and that dead hooker in the street? Yeah, there used to be a Denny's right there. Yeah, it's good. Denny's is good. Well, this guy could give a fuck about Denny's. In fact, he could give a fuck about anything because all he's doing is sitting there muttering to himself like a psychopath. So now I start freaking out because clearly this guy's unstable. It's only a matter of time before he whips out a knife from that book bag, and I'm negative 47 cents. So I start thinking, all right, you need to strategize here. Maybe you should, start doing some weird shit yourself. Give the guy a taste of his own medicine. All right, no, I'm not gonna do that. That's stupid as hell. Maybe instead I could, intimidate him somehow, you know? Hey, just a warning, buddy. I keep a fucking flamethrower in the trunk of my car, so no funny business. But I'm not gonna be able to intimidate this guy. He's whacked out of his mind. Not to mention fucking Drops of Jupiter's playing on the radio right now. That she's back in the atmosphere. Drops of Jupiter in her hair. Yeah, I'm not intimidating jack shit, that's for sure. I might as well be fucking Pippi Longstockings in the driver's seat, for Christ's sake. Now, thankfully, this guy didn't request a very long trip. It was just a couple of blocks. He easily could have walked it, which I'm surprised he didn't because I thought meth heads had a lot of pep. Apparently not this guy. So we reach his final destination, a pawn shop next to a active crime scene or whatever the fuck it was. And this guy opens the door, but he doesn't get out at first. Instead, he starts rummaging through his book bag. That's when I start thinking, yep, I knew it. I'm about to get shanked for pocket change. God damn it. Meanwhile, Drops of Jupiter's blaring out into the streets and shit. Na, 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 na. And this guy keeps searching for whatever it is he's looking for. Finally, he finds it. And you wouldn't believe it if I told you. This guy pulls out of his book bag a fucking thing of Tic Tacs. Oh, thank Jesus, holy hell. It's a bit anticlimactic, I know. But you guys can kiss my ass, I was happy not to get shanked by a shank. So the dude gets out of my car, and right before I peel out of there like Smokey and the Bandit, I look at my phone to see how much money I made, and it was a whole $5.50. Oh, what the hell? That was an accessory to a third-degree felony for a whopping $5.50? My car smells like a fucking burning bucket of army guys, for Christ's sake. You could at least give me a tip. Your tip is you got to keep your life, you little baby back bitch. So needless to say, I retired from the Uber life after that, and decided that making shitty cartoons for the internet was a slightly safer way to make money. So the lesson here is, if you're gonna drive for Uber, make sure you have some fucking Tic Tacs. Because meth heads can be pretty scary, but they still care about having fresh breath. The end.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I did that gig for a little bit before Uber existed. I worked for a outfit called Homobiles, which specialized in picking up, LGBT people and making sure they got where they were going. And that lasted a couple of months, I think. I didn't do fantastically well. Why is there super glue all over my now there's how did the super glue get all over my feet? I'm just pondering this right now. Yeah, it's fucking with super glue, but how did it get on this foot that was in the opposite place from where I was using it? Well, that's it. I guess super glue just defies physics. That's just how that is. Good Lord. Hail Satan. Hail Satan on that shit. Gremlins did it. Yeah, probably, right? Probably. Well, guess my foot lives up here now. Boy, I did not step on the bottle, I don't think. I don't remember doing that. Not in the last like 5 minutes. Eh? Anyway, yeah, I was fucking around with some of the cracked pleather on this chair. Like, maybe I can glue it down, and it worked okay in some places, but now I got glue on my foot somehow, and I'm questioning my life. I started like repairing some and customizing some of my toys, my old toys. And it was all right. I fixed some. That's got cool. But it did not bring me long-lasting satisfaction. I did not find myself going, well, this is what I'm doing with my life from now on. But I did have a good time. I like to fiddle with things. I think it's fun. I do enjoy it. Repainting the old eyes on things or sewing parts back together, gluing them together, trying to find ways of getting them to do things that they didn't do before. Kind of cool. Like miniature, it's kind of like miniature painting in a lot of ways. I'm sure that was fascinating. I'm sure you're all like, yeah, that's some fascinating shit, Jack. Like, congratulations. I have not seen the band Skittles commercials. fear. I fear the commercials are also copywritten. Like, how dare you show our commercial for free? How dare you? Somebody paid good money to have that watched, and you're just doing it for free. When did everything have to become work? You know what I'm talking about? Oh, you're not just on TikTok. Now you're a content creator. Yeah, fuck you. And it wouldn't be so bad if people were getting paid what they were paid in the beginning when getting paid first started. Like, that was okay. Those amounts of money was all right. These days, though, I don't know. I don't even enjoy watching. Yeah, now it's a side hustle. Like, fuck that, you know. When did we enter late stage capitalism? Yeah, well, some wisdom to that. But like, here's the thing. You know what I watch on YouTube these days? Hotel Hell. And I'm not even really watching it. I just put it on. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Something I don't have to really care about. And I'm like, why am I doing this? Is there something better I could be doing? Yeah, finding anime was work. Now finding good anime is work. Yeah, no. You know, like, what happened? Like, everything in my world became like a drudgery. You know? I hate it. I don't like fucking feeling like everything I do has got to make money, but I also hate being broke. Speaking of which, if you want to donate, super chats down below. You play video games with multiple romance options. Oh, you're playing that Baldur's Gate? You know, fucking here's the thing. I've been working so hard on Babylon. I haven't had time to play either Baldur's Gate or Starfield, which I have. I have those fucking things, and I haven't had. I haven't even booted them up yet. How did I know? In a game where you can romance a bear, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of romance options. Oh. Yeah, like I miss like Puffin Forest's old style of content. If you don't know who Puffin Forest is, he he used to do these like really little animations about like his crazy shit that happened in his D&D game.
Locations. You've got Waterdeep and Undermountain, which lies beneath. Waterdeep is the city above ground that's a 1 to 5 level adventure.
All right.
Hi, hello. Spoilers for the Waterdeep Dragon Heist.
This
I'm going
is
to be
him.
talking about the module. Anyway, thank you. Enjoy. I remember telling my group that after I'd finished playing Strahd that I wanted to run them through Waterdeep Dragon Heist, the module of mystery, subplots, intrigue, and terrible quests. Modules themselves, at least the way Wizards of the Coast makes them, are not easy to run. They often give DMs vague notes on how they're played. I can understand why from the perspective that instead of trying to have a beat for beat, A happens, then B, then the villain does C, what they try to say is like, the villain will attempt to stop the party from reaching the summit. How? That's up for you to decide. Because of this, there's an entire cottage industry of different ideas for how specifically the villain does this. Mine made a magic escalator of snow that slows them down. My villain rolled snowballs at them. Sometimes I like to call it creative voids, where they want the DM to fill in the blank. If it's done artistically, it can kind of add to the work and give the DM more say in what's going on. And other times, it's bad. I like the metaphor of hand-holding, because one way of looking at it, it can be nice to have someone guiding you through it from moment to moment. On the other side, they're holding your hand. You can't separate from them. You're physically stuck to them. I think sometimes what people want is to read chapter 1 and run chapter 1 and not have to worry about chapter 1 again, and then read chapter 2 and not have to worry about what's going on in chapter 6 or chapter 7, or have the module go, didn't you know there was something relevant on page 6? I don't know, maybe that's just me. I don't normally run the D&D modules just because I think, like most people, the creative juice that I get is metaphorically squeezed by players playing through a unique world that has its own rules, and that maybe they have no idea what's going to happen next. But I do think that modules can serve to be a good jumping off point for your own narratives and stories. I knew going into Waterdeep Dragon Heist, I didn't want to play it, exactly by the book. This would be my second time running it. Also, one of the players had already played it before once, so there were a few things I knew I had to scrap because of spoilers. Like, for example, one of the NPCs is actually a spy, but I had to scrap that because, well, I don't know. Maybe the player already knew it. I don't know. There's no way to ask that without being suspicious. Hey, did you suspect that one of the peoples who may or may not be involved may or may not be someone who's trying to undermine the... Whatever. Screw it. I'm not going to be running that. Also, Chapter 4 sucks. The chase, I'm sorry, I get what they were going for. The idea is that there's a sentient magic thing that they're trying to find, and they're directed to go to a location, and what do you know, the item that they're looking for isn't there. And when they get to this new place, what do you know, it's actually somewhere else. The module does this 7 times, which takes about 2 to 3 weeks to get through. So for 3 long weeks, the players are just chasing red herrings. I can see why on paper it looks fun, because it's guiding the players through the city. You're meeting all these colorful NPCs, but playing it's real drag. They even have this mechanic, and this one is the one that actually gets me the most, where what if the players get to the MacGuffin before they're supposed to? And the answer in the book is that the MacGuffin doesn't want to talk to them, because they haven't gone through the necessary steps. Rereading it, it's actually even worse than I remember, because I shit you not, this is what happens is if they get the item and they're not supposed to have it, the MacGuffin mentally takes control of them and then forces them to give the stone up to wherever they're supposed to go. So you're like, I need them to go to the windmill. So it has them, it just like drags them to the windmill. They then drop the item and then it has them return back to the rest of the party. And then the player suddenly has amnesia and doesn't remember doing any of that. Why? Why did they think this was a good idea? So anyway, I knew I wasn't going to be doing any of that. I also used the potions and alcohols from taverns and tankards. Basically, when you get to a tavern, they sell magical boozes like Goodberry wine, Firebreath ale, etc., which give you a benefit but make you drunk. And so it's this interesting kind of mechanic where you could drink a lot of these potions, but then they would like make you drunk. But if you were someone who had high constitution, you could suddenly drink more. And so there were these downsides. So I really liked the kind of dynamic or the balancing mechanic between them. I thought that it added a lot to what was normally kind of a very simple mechanic. Since I was going to be having my players coming in at 5th level instead of 1st, I decided to just add a little, just teensy-weensy bit of difficulty. But maybe, I might have dialed the fights a little too difficult. I don't tell my players that. My players ended up losing almost all of the fights in that one. I think of the 6 fights we did early on, they either lost, TPK'd, or ran away in 4 of them. Which now ended up being that whenever I talk to the players about a game, I always like to go, are we going easy, medium, or Waterdeep level of difficulty? After the first session, 3 of them had gotten captured. Let me just set the stage. They're tracking down a missing person. They go to the skewered dragon and start asking around. One of the players gets tricked into drinking a knockout beer, which causes him to go unconscious for the next 10 minutes. So, fight starts. One of the players is unconscious. They're fighting thugs plus some boozes or ooze golems, and the warlock is very generous with the fire magic. He lights his own site on fire. Our tiefling casts darkness. The party's going through the classic runaway dilemma where they end up getting split up. Some people want to stay, some people want to run, some people want to run but have to stay because maybe they're in melee, leading to our elderly rogue rescuing our halfling and escaping while the rest of the party got captured. So the next session ends up being a split game where we had 2 players with a solo adventure in the sewers making their way to the rest of the party, while the others were trapped by Xanathar, getting tortured for information about the Stone of Golor, which also led them getting into another fight that they almost TPK'd into, but they were fine this time, which was great, because I didn't want to have to DM a game where it's like, they took you into their dungeon, but we were already in their dungeon. I mean the even deeper dungeon that's a sub-dungeon of this one. That way we have to go on another rescue mission. It's like a nesting dolls of torture, both for the players and myself. Now, if you don't know about the story, what is the Stone of Golor? Well, you see, it's this MacGuffin that the entire module is based on. The concept is that Lord Never Remember hid a set of gold in Waterdeep and embezzled money, and that this stone is the key to finding out where that gold is hidden. Each of the different villains was trying to find the key to the vault, that way they could claim the gold and use it for their own nefarious purposes. For my game, I split the stone into these shards and hid them around the city. That way, instead of it being like, oh, you just need to find this one item, there you go, you did it. The story was more like National Treasure, where there were these clues that they could get to use the treasure, and they were intentionally hidden to be found, not by Never Remember himself, but maybe by some other adventurer who would come along and claim the prize for themselves. One idea I tried to implement, and it just ended up not working out that well, was trying to incorporate Undermountain into the main storyline. And like, in theory, it sounds like it would work. So just to clarify, you have these 2 locations. You've got Waterdeep and Undermountain, which lies beneath. Waterdeep is the city above ground that's a 1 to 5 level adventure, while Undermountain is like kind of 6 to 20. So at the time I was thinking like, well, if I put the characters in at 6th level and I've upscaled Waterdeep, then that means they should be able to go into Undermountain, right? You know? Because theoretically speaking, you know, I almost never use this Undermountain material, and the players could just pop in there, do like a mission there, come back out.
Not
It'll be
what
great.
CJ
Like on paper, it sounds like a great idea, but it didn't work out. Really, they were so absorbed in the Waterdeep plotline that it didn't make any sense to add this entire other module's worth of material. Another change I made was with the haunted house. When they first arrive in Waterdeep, they receive a house, and this is in the book, and when they get there, they see these portraits and paintings and stuff floating around, blood on the walls saying, "Get out," and they find out that it's haunted. It was also funny that one of the characters, Val, his character was based on Courage the Cowardly Dog, where he's like the scaredy cat that wants to avoid danger but keeps running into it anyway. So we had some great scenes of him in bed going like, "It's not haunted, it's not haunted, it's not haunted," while the branch of a tree is like a finger tapping at his window, and a candlestick held by nothing floats down the hallway. So normally in the story, the ghost was just kind of this old owner who wants them to turn the house around to be at peace, which, to be fair, the players are already probably going to do, so it's not much of an incentive. Mine was a murder mystery. I have the players uncover his old journal tucked away underneath the floorboards and find out that the last owner was murdered and track down the killer in order to rid the house of the ghost. But they didn't do that, so the house was just perpetually haunted. The other change was with the villains. In the module, you select one of 4 seasons. Each season has a certain mechanical benefits and penalties to it on how it's played. I just decided to scrap it and play whatever, whenever, because that seemed like the most fun. I mean, all in all, Waterdeep Drogenhoist has some really interesting ideas in it. I just think that those ideas were not implemented in the best way. Instead of it coming off as a story of political intrigue and espionage, the villains just don't seem to care about the main characters. But overall, yeah, I still really like the module for the world building and lore it does. Anyway, thanks for watching. I will see you on the next video. Goodbye!
See if I could find I like the shorts from Tales of the Stinky Dragon.
Clam, High up near the crest of the mountain, you spot the shadowy silhouette of a dragon tail strike the mountainside. How do you avoid the landslide?
I'm turning into a giant goat. And I just speed up.
Everyone who's in the cart almost loses their footing because the acceleration is so fast. Duncan falls prone in the cart, spilling his coffee everywhere.
I'll pick him up by his little dragon scruff, and then I'll say something cool and draconic like, I got you, bro.
And that sounds like...
Bart, you speak draconic too?
Turns out Bart's just throwing up over the side of the cart. He's motion sickness.
Kyborg, you are awake. In the air is a tear-shaped sapphire gemstone.
Bart goes to reach up for it.
As you hold it in your hand, your musician's eye notices the shape of the gemstone is a guitar pick.
Hey, Joker, how you doing?
From a metagame perspective, once you attune the item, you get a +2 to charisma.
All right, Bart, I have a very important question to ask you.
Hold on, let me just tune my lute real quick. Ding, ding, ding.
This involves your loot.
Ring, ding, 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 ding.
You've got
ding, ding,
a brand new
ding.
magical...
Hold on. Ding, 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 ding. Hold on, almost there. Ding, 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 ding.
How many strings do you have on that damn loot?
17.
Play us a ditty, Bart.
There once was a boy named Bart, and he rolled his charisma and testing it out. Pew.
And it made him fart.
A tiny pair of...
Okay, so it's our first time meeting this guy. We need to impress him. Everyone play it cool.
Go ahead and make a charisma check.
1. Guys, do you ever have a crush on your mom?
Gum Gum approaches and says, I'm Gum Gum. Did you want snacks? I got crackers.
I love crackers.
My uncle died choking on a cracker once. Say, hey, it's Kyborg, and I approach with my left hand. When he reaches out with his left hand, I reach out with my right hand, and then I go in for a really long hug.
Bart shudders.
Gum Gum thinks Kyborg's dancing and starts doing the same.
Left arm, right arm.
Do the Kyborg.
The stranger doesn't know what's going on, so he starts dancing too.
Mud conjures 8 crows.
To just lift you away and...
Could Bart cast invisibility on Kyborg?
I want to hide. I want to.
Okay, what's this? What is a good ethrop for a bard? Ethrop? What's a throp? You Gen Zers in your newfangled language. I know what a throp is. What is a throp? You gotta tell me. Throp, I mean. Thorpe. What's a Thorpe? I don't know what a Thorpe is. What's a Thorpe? Do I have to look this up? I think I have to look this up. Thorpe. Thorpe. The name could either come from Old Norse, where okay. It's a village. Tropes. Oh, you mean tropes. Like, here, have a Thorpe. Yeah, have a media Thorpe. Whoa. 'Tis Netflix-o-Thorpe. Well, let's see. Some of the tropes of the bard. Talk to anything, play music, and have sex with strange creatures. Those are the major bard tropes. Hey, we're talking about D&D here, you know. Hey, Number Dave, how you doing?
Coming up on the conveyor.
My last bard I made was a barbarian, is multi-class character. He was a half drow, because that actually, I was gonna make him like just a regular drow elf, but like I needed more feats in order to make the character work, so I was like, okay, I'll make him a half drow. That's like good enough, right? Half drow something. Like, we'll assume human-ish. Anyway, so yeah, his fucking thing. Oh god, what was even his name? He had some sort of name like Leafenstar or something, or no, Krellian. Kyle Rayan. Kyle Rayan was his name. Kyle Rayan, the barbarian. He would beat the shit out of guys with his axe. And then I play a little song. Now, here's the thing. I did pretty well in combat, but where the guy really shined was in the wildly fucking weird charisma checks I would make. Because sort of like, I try to talk to this bugbear. I'm gonna talk to this bugbear, man. You know, it's like, low, bug, you know, and I'm a drow, and I'm like, you know, low, bugbear, I am friend. Do you need assistance? Because here's the thing, nobody in this group was a human, and in fact, like, I wasn't the only one playing like an Underdark race. We also had a kobold. A kobold rogue, which is actually quite a mighty combination. Because like kobolds have this thing where they give advantage to anyone who's attacking that is attacking the same monster they are. Which is real amazing for a rogue, you know, because they could just blip all over the place. So it's like, okay, you need a bonus? Okay, I gotta fight this with you. Okay, now this person needs a bonus. Go over there. So, like, the couple's name was Solstice, and they just went all over the place, and they had written a song. This was played by the Countess, and she had written a song called I think she called it the Kobold Song of Courage, but the lyrics were Run Away, you know? She'd actually written a little tune, and sometimes I was supposed to play it, you know. Like, I think it's the second song she had a character write. Because at one point she was playing when she was playing a swashbuckler, she wrote a song about her character, you know. Anyway, we made friends with that bugbear. And so the whole plot changed. Because it's like, we were just supposed to fight the bugbear. Like, that's what the adventure said. And then we were like, oh no, the bugbears are having trouble. Or was it hobgoblins? No, it's hobgoblins. It's hobgoblins. So we're helping these hobgoblins, like, attack everybody else. You know, and everyone's like, what kind of adventurers are you? And we're just sort of like, shut up. We had this one revenant follow in our party for a while, and then he died. But he didn't die like normal. He didn't like, it wasn't like, he fucking, it wasn't like he got eaten by a dragon or anything. What had happened was a spell effect went off that it was a weird effect where it was like, it reminds you of like your happiest moment. And the guy was cursed that if he ever remembered his happiest moments, his unlife would end. And so that happens, and he just like disintegrates. They're just like, okay, I guess that happened. And I'm trying to make friends with like all the demons and weird people that we meet. But of course, like my character's also super horny because he's a bard. But he was the thing I had determined, which was that he was really afraid of women because he's a drow. So he just innately, instinctively believes that all women are trying to sacrifice him to a demon or eat him. So the poor guy never got laid. He meets this other like half drow, this very beautiful half drow girl, and he falls in love with her, but like fucking does not know what to do about it. God, his intelligence was like 6. Not a very bright guy, just all charisma, all strength. And his constitution was pretty good. Like I think he had 16 strength, 16 charisma, like 14 con. Yeah, like I didn't tend to write I didn't play him as asexual. I played him as just scared of things with vaginas. But definitely still extremely attracted to them. But like this is just poor guy just didn't know what to do. Though I had determined that there was one race he felt very safe around. And that was dwarves. So if a dwarven woman ever hit on him or showed interest, he would be okay with that. But anything else, anything that was too elf-like, like including humans, he would wonder, and he would make like really weird comments about yeah. He was like the homeschool kid. If like the homeschool was like a gladiatorial arena. Because like that was the idea behind him, is that he's this horrible hybrid, like some wizard, seduced a drow woman, and she's just like, yeah, throw the kid in the fucking, in the pits. No, goblins. See, goblins ride spiders, man. Actually, he never ran into a female dragonborn. So I didn't consider what he would do if that was the case. Turtles we never ran into either. But like most of the standard like hot or neutral races were kind of like, he was afraid that like tentacles were going to come out, or like there was going to be like a giant spider face there tries to eat him, because it had happened before. Yeah, this was D&D. This was D&D 5th edition, Yeah, I thought about making him a short stack lover, but like it was, for some reason, it was specifically dwarven women that he was like comfortable around. But it never came up. Because the only dwarven woman we ran into with any regularity that wasn't like just trying to kill us, there were 2. One was in the party, the other was like a Daragar fucking priestess that our dwarven cleric hated because she was a Daragar. We also never ran into halflings. That was also something we didn't bring. We ran into a lot of goblins. Like a lot of goblins, a lot of the goblin races we ran into. Not so much with the regular stuff. Let's see. Like, I was a half drow. Rogue was kobold. Priest was a dwarf. And I think the fighter was just a human. I think he was just human. Yeah, that was the we didn't have a gnome. We didn't have a gnome. I don't even know if we ran into one. I don't even think we ran into gnomes. We did run into orcs. But we didn't run into, like, female orcs. We ran into a lot of female goblins. Like, hobgoblins and regular goblins. We ran into plenty of those, but, like, all the hobgoblin women were taken. Or uninterested. So there's no help there. Also, we were a little freaked out because we were saving them from a mind flayer. One of our friends had to play chess against it. He won. That was one of those, like, player rolls 20 on his dragon chess roll, and he's like, you beat him. You know, you managed to beat this guy. Hey, cute little cat girl, I hear you're interested in Carnival Row Season 2. Actually, I watched the whole thing. I didn't think it was that bad. You know, I could tell they rushed the ending, but it was pretty good. What about tieflings? We didn't run into any tieflings either. Yeah, we were mainly in the Underdark. Well, also the problem with tieflings is they're part demon. He doesn't want to be sacrificed to summon a demon, so. Tried to find an app for 2D animation, so they had an app for AR art. God damn it.
As you pass by one of the cells, a lizard man yells, "They've got the wrong guy. Please, let me out."
What are you in for?
They claim I snuck into the barber shop to steal hair. I mean, who steals hair? That doesn't make any sense.
So what'd you actually do?
Nothing, because lizard folk don't have hair. They assume I would have a hair obsession and dream of wearing hair. It's crazy.
Yeah, sounds like some unresolved issues here.
Hairless Hutch, what might your name be?
Kyborg.
You got some nice looking hair, Kyborg.
Okay, Hairless Hutch, that's enough. We'll see you later, bud.
I think that guy actually did what he's accused of.
I think so too, Bart.
I'd like to pull out a little bit of my hair and give it to him.
The look on his face is like you put gold pieces in his hands.
And I try and wink at him, but instead I just blink.
Oh, he likes that. He's a lizard folk.
Okay, that's a very nice little time meeting your friend. Let's go, prisoner.
How do you make puppets into D&D action heroes? When we made our first video, we'd hobbled together a set on top of a desk and used coat hanger screws and wires to puppet the...
Do you have any healing?
Yeah, could I cast Mass Cure Wounds?
Yeah, I use Mud's Totem of Restoration.
I'm like half health, but if we took a short rest, I could probably heal.
We can't. You're so far away from me. You're so far away, and I need to give you a potion of healing stat. The only thing I have is my brew bow, so I gotta shoot you. I gotta do it. I'm gonna take the shot.
Take the shot.
Aren't we all close to each other, though?
Nope.
No, he's so far away. I can't. Bart, time is of the essence.
How are you huddled around the thing?
He wants to shoot the boy with an arrow.
Make an attack roll.
Wait, is it actually gonna damage him?
Just do it.
Gum's fading.
Here we go. Open wide. It's a nat 20.
I just get smacked in the face with a potion.
So you fire with such precision that the brew bow goes straight into Gum's mouth while his eyes are closed.
And I just swallow it like that. Wow. Thank you. That's 6. I'm up to 73
You're welcome.
of 137.
You're welcome, my friend. I know I did a lot. I know we all equally contributed much to your health.
Let's see. Cute little cat girl says, I felt a lot of characters made too many dumb decisions. There was too much going on. But I believe it was because the original writers were firing the new. Oh, yeah. Well, like, one of the things, it felt like they were rushing through the plot points. Like, half the plot points of, like, Carnival Road 2 could have been, like 2 or 3 episodes just on their own. But they, like, just kind of go right on through them. Like, the whole thing with the head of the Black Ravens, like, I was like, that whole rivalry should have felt like it should have gone on a bit longer. But instead, she just sort of gets killed at the first opportunity. You know, just so we can be done with that plot point. And I did think that, like, what's her name? The Faye girl, the main Faye girl character. Like, that girl's an emotional mess, man. It's like, no, I'm with you. No, I'm with you now. No, I'm with you again. No, I'm back with you. Like, what's going on? You know? I think your heart's a little fickle there, you know, like.
Help, my house is on fire and my pet's inside.
What kind of pet is it?
But the best kind of pet, a rabbit.
I run in there, I go to save the pet.
Okay, bye-bye.
You step inside the burning building and you realize it's a 2-story building. You have to make an investigation check to see if you can find the rabbit.
My rabbit senses are tingling.
That's a 2. Yeah. Inspiration die.
Are you using it already?
Yes. This rabbit is important. I used to own rabbits.
You or Kyborg?
Me. Wait, what do you mean?
Blaine or Kyborg?
Both.
19.
Yeah, you see the rabbit is at the top of the stairs. There's a burning beam blocking the way.
I'm gonna hurdle this beam.
Yeah, you jump over it, but now you're on the other side. Are you gonna hop over again?
No, I'm gonna jump out of the window. I'm gonna jump out of the window.
The beams fall down and the first floor is totally crushed by fire and ash. And as that happens, out of the second story window, Kyborg jumps out with a rabbit in hand.
There's a guitar riff, and then I go.
Can't try and catch him?
Yeah, make a strength check.
That was a nat 1.
I cast Gust.
Giant gust of wind catches you and you land gracefully on your feet.
What do? I just trip.
Yeah.
Dead man walking.
Gum Gum wants to stop at one of the other cells.
Hi, I'm Gum Gum.
I'm Sour Amy.
Why are you in prison?
I was stealing candy from infants.
Oh,
Classic.
Hey, you want some candy?
Yeah.
She puts a piece of rock candy in your hand.
Thank you. Do you want some poop bucket?
I got one already. Thank you, though.
Okay. I'll never forget this. What was your name?
What was her
Sour Amy. I'm sure we're gonna meet again on the outside, Gum Gum.
Yeah, we won't leave without you.
You're leaving? Are you all being freed?
No.
Oh.
I just mean when I get released from prison, I have an 8-year sentence.
What did you do?
Well, I ate a baby.
You ate a baby.
Okay, it's time to go to your execution.
I thought you had 8 years.
Yeah, I did. It's the end of the 8 years.
Well, have a good execution.
Oh, you felt that the pack was downgraded. The first season made them look like Nazis. The second season they become sort of Russian. Well, yeah, they actually explained that. They had actually the more Russian faction had actually won part of their land back. Like, it was like the pack was an occupying force to begin with.
Stop. Before you enter, you must cleanse your sins in the holy water.
What next?
Make a religion check.
16.
Got a 2?
Gum Gum, you feel compelled to confess a sin.
I'm afraid of the dark at night.
Well, there's nothing inherently wrong with that.
Yes, there is.
Roll a religion check.
4.
Yeah, you still feel dirty. You feel like you have another sin you need to unload.
I'm also afraid of forks.
Forks, the eating utensil.
There's a lot of spikes on them, and they hurt my tongue.
Roll again, but you have advantage for having a pure soul.
I got a 7 and a 9. Sorry, Gus. I'm also afraid of those wiggly things in the dirt.
Worms?
Whoa, yeah.
Roll again.
I got a 1.
A 1?
Jesus
You have
Christ.
I got another one.
Another
Oh
one?
my god.
Gum Gum, you might be tied up here for a little while.
Gum Gum, I require assistance with something in my lab.
Yes, sir.
We've been working on an armored suit.
Oh, neato.
Do you have any ideas for something that continually generates power?
Power.
Yes, Gum Gum, power.
Do you want to be able to make flowers? I have a wand that can do that.
No, not that.
No? Too powerful?
Some broken arcane magic that you have recently acquired.
Here's a pillow that I found in a cave.
No, that powers you, Gum Gum.
Okay, here's a whistle that doesn't work. Here, let me just get rid of this stuff that's broken.
Wait, what about that? That broken stuff?
Oh, this.
That's it. To turn it on for the first time, we need a jump start from a powerful wizard.
I can jump.
No, not an actual jump, Gum Gum. We need a powerful burst of electricity.
I can do that with my magic javelin of lightning.
Oh.
It's magic.
Are you a powerful enough wizard to use that, Gum Gum?
Yes, I am.
Eureka!
Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, dude. Okay, I think I should log off for now. Like, I'm starting to get a little bit of a headache, and I haven't been sleeping that great. So I want to thank everybody for coming down. I want to thank you, cute little cat girl, for coming down, and of course Eliza and everybody. Sorry it was a little rough and a little short, but like, sometimes it's like that. I will talk to you all later. I'll try to be on again tomorrow at slightly earlier so we can go for a little longer. I'm gonna try to be on like around like 8 o'clock tomorrow night, Pacific Standard Time. So until then, y'all take care.